to the cloud. Perfect. Okay, so Emma, would you just, I know your story so well. I've obviously been on it in the last 7.5 years. Have you been in the business 7 years?
Yeah, nearly, this is my 8th year.
Yeah, so we've done most of this journey together, which has been an absolute blessing. You've been a friend as well as a business buddy along the way. So would you just share with everyone a little bit about your story, please?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, so hi everybody, good evening. Hope everyone is good. So I joined the business back in 2013 as a happy customer. My story, I suppose, assume that people haven't heard it. I think there's so many new people joining the business, which is one of the reasons why these calls are out, which is brilliant. So some of you might have heard a little bit of it, but I'll start at the beginning and cover it in minutes. So I was a busy corporate mum when I came across this. I joined the business as a happy customer. As I said, I fell in love with the products first. I know some people join the business and start the products at the same time. For me, I was a first. I joined, John was my upline, John Holloway, he was my personal trainer. He introduced me to the product and the business. I absolutely said no to the business completely at the start. I was really time poor. I didn't think it was for me. I wasn't looking for anything. I think that sometimes people join this business looking for it to save them from something, or they join the business because they think it's like a little bit of an additional income, or lots and lots of different reasons why we joined. But for me at the time, if you're a busy mum, right, like most of us are, I just was not looking for another thing to add into my life. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't looking for anything else. I had a great job, great life, kids, home, mortgage, everything I thought that I wanted, really. But I did have that point in my life, a real sense of dissatisfaction. And I think for me, I'm very ambitious. I always have been very ambitious. And even like when I was a teenager, I wanted to be, you know, I always wanted my own money. I had a job of one form or another since I was 15. I went to university, I got a postgrad. Like, I always wanted to be the best at everything. I always wanted to be financially independent, all of those things. So it was like quite happily climbing that corporate ladder in my 20s and early 30s. But when I got married and had my kids and they were getting a little bit older, I started to realise that I was missing out on some stuff, you know. And some of you might be at this point in your lives at the minute where what had appealed to me about my life and the rat race in my 20s started to be the things that didn't appeal to me anymore. I wanted the recognition and I wanted the money and I wanted the financial independence, but I didn't want the sacrifice that I had to make in my life to get that. But I wasn't doing anything about it. It was just a niggle. It was just a scratch. It was just a thing that used to bug me. Like, I was missing the kids' schooling. I was missing their lives, actually, when I look back at it now. I might touch on that a little bit later, but I was missing out on everything. And it's a massive sacrifice that you make. And I know not everybody's a parent, but a lot of us are. And it's a massive sacrifice that women particularly think that they have to make all the time, which is that you can either be a successful businesswoman or have a successful job, or you can be a mum, but you can't have both, right? Well, it's bollocks. You can have both, but I didn't know how, and you definitely can with this. So when John came to me and said, I've got a business opportunity for you, I wasn't even able to go for a wee without an audience. I was like, you must be joking if you think that I can run a business as well as have 100-hour-a-week corporate job, 2 little kids. They were 3 and 5 and my eldest was 15. And I was like, I'm not running a business as well as that. So I said no, and I understand that that's a lot of people's view. And when you're sharing this with people now ongoing, don't forget, like, we know what this is and we can see it, but they can't see it yet, which is the reason why people say no at the start, because they have all of these ideas that we all had too about why they can't do it. So that's why for me being a customer first was so important, because I fell in love with the product, and then it was a no-brainer to do the next step, to join the business, because I was doing it anyway. I was recommending the products to people anyway. I felt fantastic. I lost a little bit of weight that I wanted to lose, and I am a carer and a sharer. It's what we do when we love stuff. So I was funny about it. People could see the spring in my step. They could see that I had a bit more energy. As a busy working mum, it was like amazing to not be exhausted in everybody. So I joined the business because it made sense to earn an income for doing something that I was doing anyway. But I wasn't looking to, you know, I didn't even know there was a marketing plan. I didn't know anything about it. And it was only when I went to an event, actually, like a bit like this, I suppose, but it was, you know, in person at a hotel, and saw a little bit of what was possible. Met a few people that were earning £2,000 or £3,000 a month, and I thought, hold on a minute, really? Okay, how do I do? I remember saying to John, how do I do that? And he just said, just do more of what you're already doing. Like, you're totally more than capable of doing that. So I just decided to give it everything that I could, alongside I didn't give anything else up. I was still working full time. I still had the kids, obviously, said all the other obligations. And this, I promise you, wherever you are and whatever you've got going on, this just fits into your life like that if you let it. Right? If you don't let it, you'll find barriers all the time for why you can't do it. But if you just let it be and just let it fit into your life, it will just fit into your life as long as you make it important. And I kept thinking, if I had to have kidney dialysis, or if I had to have some sort of treatment every day that took an hour, I would do it. So I'm going to give this an hour every single day for a year, no matter what, like that, like as if I had to. Because to me, I had to. And I remember saying to my husband, just give me to see what I can do with this. So that's what we did. I jumped in with both feet and never looked back. And I would really encourage anybody and everybody to do the same, because you do not know what you're capable of achieving until you give something everything you've got, right? You don't know. I don't ever want in any area of my life to look back and think, I wonder if I'd tried a bit harder at that, if I'd worked a bit more consistently at that, would it have been better? Would I have achieved what those other people have achieved? Would I have been able to climb that mountain, run that marathon, get to PMD, whatever it is? I don't want any doubt in my life. I want to always know. So I gave it everything I could. Every moment that I had that wasn't working or parenting, I invested in this business, and managed to walk away from a full-time job at the end of 2013. And I was not expecting intention when I joined, but it became my intention quite quickly. It was not about walking away from my job, but about creating financial independence and being a mum who's, you know, I became what I call a present parent, right? I have more than a full-time income now, but in really part-time hours. And my kids now, they're the ones, Molly's 13 and she's 10, and they don't remember when I used to go to work. They don't remember when I wasn't there when they went to school in the morning. They don't remember when I wasn't there to pick them up from school at night. They don't remember not being able to do any after school clubs or anything. And I remember that. I remember it really clearly, but they don't. And that's really important to me, that whatever happens in the future, I created something which gave them a mum who's at home with them all the time, who's able to be with them all the time, who's able to just do what they want when they need it in the moment that they need it. And I don't have to ask anybody or anything. So what starts off as like, oh, I'm going to earn a couple of £100 a month, sharing something, saving something for Christmas. If you give it everything you've got and do what you're capable of, that could be you too if you want it to be. It could be that could be your children's lives too if you want it to be. And I honestly really don't see any reason why anybody else can't do the same. There's nothing special about, you know, anybody really that's mega successful other than they really gave it everything they had for, you know, I still do all the time, every day, because it's that important to me. It's that important to my kids to have a mum who's at home all the time and not out at work. And yeah, so it's been transformational for us. I absolutely love it. 7 years now, I've been pretty much working from home. Like I said, I'm a work from home mum. I'm not a stay-at-home mum, I'm a work from home mum. I still work, and my kids know that. But I work around them instead of them having to work around me. And yeah, it's been transformational for us as a family completely.
And you know what, you've been very humble with your description of what you did in the business, but I remember when you first joined, and one of our big bosses said, oh, we're going to have Emma on stage because she has broken so many records. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know I'd done that. And they were like, not you, the other Emma. And I was like, oh, okay. But when we first joined the business in 2012, 2013, you couldn't jump positions, you know, like, so you couldn't go NMD and then I guess like you can't now, but you had to wait 3 months in between positions. And Emma broke a record that she was SSC and Club 39, which had been unheard of in the company. And they stopped it shortly after and said you had to be a national marketing director and a Club 39. But that's the sort of business that Emma created and has continued to build. So Emma's been very humble about her business journey, but Emma broke many records. And yeah, just wanted to shout you out on that. And you still are one of the hardest working leaders I know. So thank you for sharing your story with us, as ever humble. So let's talk about business right now, because we are having the most incredible, Emma is a PMD, so we are having the most incredible growth momentum at the moment. It's mental. You obviously smashed the leaderboard this month with 38 of your own new customers. So should we talk about first momentum in terms of customers and what you're doing and that? Just have a chat.
Sure. You know what, this business is a funny thing. It's like anything. It's like Alex always used to say it, the business mirrors life, and it really does. Like but it's like your life under a microscope in many respects. So the highs are really, really high, right? When things are going well and you feel great, everything's like amazing. When you're smashing the promotions and the team are doing really well, and that's great, and it's everything under a microscope. But conversely, when things aren't going so well, or you have a down day, or you're struggling for a little while with things, it's magnified as well. So the downs can feel really, really down, and it's weird. Like you can have both of those in the same day sometimes, often, right? So you've got to keep a kind of a handle on your mindset, and we talk about it all the time about mindset and how important that is. We might touch on it a little bit later, but it's so important for that reason, because it is everything under a microscope. And you've got to learn to just get on with things and move on. So I've had massive highs, massive lows, but I've never really been, apart from maybe in the first few months, I've never really been one of those people that gets loads of customers. You know, I think people kind of fall into one side or the other almost, where they do lots and lots of recruitment or lots and lots of customers. And I hear all the time people saying, I'm great at that, but I'm not so good at that, or whatever. And we pigeonhole ourselves all the time, don't we? Like it's not true, whatever we say, like these things, but we just decide what we want to be good at, and we create an environment where that happens. So I always used to say, I actually prefer the recruitment side of it. I actually prefer the team building. And because I said that to myself, that's kind of the business that I built. And I've got a great team, loads and loads of team members, a lot of people doing a little bit, some people doing a lot, which is kind of how, when you get to PMD and beyond, it tends to be how it works. But I really focused on the team building. I love people development. I love building teams. I love the culture of that. I love everything about it. I love helping people and all of that stuff. But along the way, over the years, I kind of lost the customer building side of it too. And actually, I convinced myself then that I wasn't very good at customer building. I've convinced myself I wasn't great at it. Because I convinced myself I wasn't great at it, I didn't focus on it. I didn't enjoy it so much. And guess what we get paid the most on? Right? Your personal customers. It's what you get paid the most percentage commission on, is the people that you bring into the business yourself. Of course, when you build an organization, you get paid a percentage on what your team do, which is incredible. But if you're not, and this is the word I had with myself at the start of the year, if I'm not building a customer base, how can I lead a team and expect them to go and build a customer base if I'm not doing it, if I'm not walking the walk and doing the do? And I walk the walk in lots of other ways, but I really wasn't bringing in any more than 3 to 4 maybe a month, really. And I wasn't working very hard for them. They were kind of just people that came. So I just decided that if I wanted to take control of the situation, I was going to have to lead with that. And I couldn't teach what I wasn't doing. Does that make sense? I was like, I need to find a system that works, and I need to teach that. So that's what I decided to do. I had a lot going on in my life at the start of the year anyway, so I don't know why I picked the start of this year to do it, but I just decided that it was really, really important to do that. And just made a decision that I was going to really change my focus. And you know what, Emma, I didn't change fundamentally my own opinion of what I was capable of. It's kind of what I said at the beginning, really. It's like deciding what you are capable of, and I just decided to prove to myself that I could do it. Like, if you decide to run a marathon but you've never run to the end of the street, you're going to struggle if you don't ever run to the end of the street to start with. So I just thought, like, just get on with it and stop saying you can't do it. So all I did was ramp up what I was already doing. So I got really, really focused on it, really focused on the customer experience, and I put myself in the customer's shoes. And this is one of the things I would really recommend that you do as yourselves when you're building a customer base. Is put yourself in the shoes of each and every customer that you've got, or each and every person that comes to you with an inquiry. Put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself, what is this customer's journey? What is this customer's experience with me? Because it's not about the number of customers that you have, it's about the quality of the customer's experience. And if you can do that and have a few customers, then great. But the quality of the customer is way more important in terms of their experience. So really, from the first moment when someone says to you, tell me what the product is, or I'm interested in finding out more, or whatever, wherever the initial inquiry comes from, I have like copy and paste loads of answers. And I mean, of course you can have like a framework that you use, but I'm personal in the way that I reply to people. I'm very much like, what is it that they need? And you know what, it's like it might take longer, but you actually get to a yes much quicker because you've asked them what they wanted in the first place. So instead of just jumping in with product and here's the thing, I always, doesn't matter what the question is, I'll always say to them first, what are your body goals or struggles? Because then I have that little bit more information about what it is that they want. It's like someone goes to a travel agent and says, I want to book a holiday. And the travel agent's like, amazing, I've got this brochure and here's a fantastic lot in stilts and it's beautiful and if the sun will be shining, and they're actually, what they wanted was a ski trip. And all they needed to ask was take a step back and go, what kind of holiday is it you're looking for? So it's just that little pause before you jump in and answer. And for me, that made a massive difference because I was asking people what they actually wanted. What are your body goals and struggles? And they'll tell you, you know, do they want to lose half a stone? Are they a new mum? Are they working really long hours and they can't look after that? You know, they can't eat really easily or whatever it is. We have all the answers. I know whatever they say, I'll have an answer for it, but it'll be the right answer that's for them. So I just decided to be a bit more customer centric. So really focusing on their needs, what they wanted. Each person decided to buy or join, making sure that their experience was something that was enjoyable for them, something that they wanted to share with their friends and family. And I still do that now, whether it's, you know, customer number 1 or customer number 20, is like putting myself in their shoes, because to them, you're their only customer. You might have 50 customers, but all they want to know is that you're looking after them. So myself very customer centric. I really made a total focus on building my customer base. I share a lot more of my own personal journey. I think that's really important. And I'm much better at kind of doing the sort of stuff we tell people to do, which is like chasing likes. And when somebody comments on a post, I always make sure I drop them a little inbox and say, thanks very much for liking my post. Is there anything I can help you with? Or how are things with you? Or just really simple stuff that I was telling other people to do, and I wasn't really doing it so much myself from a customer point of view. And once it's like anything, I remember when I got my very, very first customer in this business, right, back in the day, back in 2013, and I remember saying to John, oh my God, like I've got a customer. I'm so excited. And he just went, do you know what, Emma, if you can get one, you can get 100. And as soon as I got that first customer, like I think I had something like, I can't remember the exact numbers, but let's say I really got to work in March, which I did. Once Molly had, you know, was finished in Turkey and stuff, my daughter was finished her surgery as such, and I was coming home. I decided to really get to work in March, and I had something like 20 customers in March, maybe 25 in April, and nearly I had 40 altogether, plus a few in other countries in May. But once I got that 10 or 15 or whatever it was in March, I remember thinking, I can bloody do this. And it's that really, once you know you can do something, it's like running the first mile. If you can run a mile, you can run a marathon, but you have to run the first mile first. So it's just that finding a way for you to get that belief in yourself that you're capable of it. It's the same with recruiting. When people go, I can't recruit anyone. Well, you'll never recruit anybody if you think you can't recruit anyone, because who's going to join your team if you think you can't do it? If you think you can't do it, I'm not going to join your team with you if you can't even think you can do it. So people want to see you, you know, being real, having a level of success, whether that's, you know, a customer story or a product story or a team story or whatever it is, but making sure that you have that belief in yourself too. And that was what I was lacking, honestly, was not the work ethic. It was the belief in myself that I could actually go and build a customer base and that would work. And now I swear to God, honestly, the difference, I can't pick up my phone without there being a product inquiry on it. Like, that was not my life. That was not my experience before this year. Really wasn't. It was like, you probably would never have seen me on a leaderboard in any sort of customer acquisition format before, but I'm enjoying it as well. And I didn't think I would enjoy the customer. I'm actually really enjoying it. It's really good fun to see somebody getting great results because of something that you've helped them with. So that's part of it. Enjoy the process, have fun with it, have that belief in yourself that you can do it, because we can't teach that, you know. We can't teach that. You can only go and do that yourself and find that belief in yourself that you can do it. And there's no reason why not. Like, I don't have a massive network. I don't have this, you know, huge internet following or anything like that. It's not that. It's pure connection. And the last piece of advice I'd give you on this, and it's, again, everybody's different, but for me, I'm very real. Like, I'm really honest. What you see is what you get. If you meet me on Facebook, you'll meet the same me that you meet if you meet me in real life. I can't do pretend. And I think that comes through in the way that I interact with my audience whatever you want to call it, my potential customers and team members on my social media, because I just find that real works for me, like being really honest. So if I'm like, you know, I put on quite a bit of weight when I was in Turkey, and I've been really honest about that. And I think that's kind of appealed to my audience, because my audience is sort of mid-30s, mid-40s. Everyone's in the same boat. So being really real is very, very important in our business in general, I think. But yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it. So, and I set myself a target to get a customer a day, and I don't go to bed till it's done. Like, I don't go to bed till it's done. Sometimes it's 5 past midnight, but I still don't go to bed till it's done.
It's so true what you say, that the belief is most of the battle, because I feel like with this whole business and with this whole momentum, half the reason that a lot of us have had this huge jump is because we have this huge extra belief in the product and this huge extra belief in the business. And then because we start having success, we have this huge extra belief in ourselves. And I know that's for me as well. So I didn't get 40 customers last month, but I think I got 16. And for me, I was like, oh my God, if I can get 16 this month, or I think it was something like that. And the month before, I think I got 10. And I was like, I was the same as you, getting maybe 3 or 4, not building up a great relationship with them. Sometimes I was, but nowhere near how I am talking with them now. And it makes such a huge difference. And yeah, you know, I feel like I'm giving back to people in health. You know, I'm talking to them about health, and that's why I started this business, because I bloody love this product. So yeah, it's so true. I'll be chasing you on that.
The thing is, Emma, I genuinely care. I care what gap. You know what, when you really want your customer successful, and I think that for me has been a big shift in my mindset and attitude towards it. When I bring in a customer now, I'm messaging them every day, because I want to know how they genuinely want to know how they're getting on. I also want them to reorder, I want them to recommend, I want them to join or whatever. But my starting point is that person has invested their money in the company, in me, in the product, and I want them to get really good results. And I'm really passionate about that now, about somebody having that good product experience that you and me both had at the start and ongoing. And look at that. I was saying to John yesterday, that little packet of shakes or box of shakes or bloody tin or whatever the hell it was back in the day that we used to, that I bought, look how much money he's made out of that one conversation, you know, with me about getting me on the shakes in the place, because ultimately I got great results. I joined the business and I've been here for 8 years, and like, look how much, I mean, like, it's not about money all the time, but like, look at what that created, that conversation that got me to take the shakes in the first place in January 2013. You never know where that one bit of extra customer care is going to lead further down the line, but you've got to start from a point of actually wanting them to get really good results, and then progress about it. Whereas what we have a tendency to do is we focus so much on getting new customers, we forget about the customers we got last month, and we forget about the customers we got the month before. And those of you who get on any of my training calls, I talk about like the importance of care is, it's not for now, but like, if you don't look after your customers when you get them month 5, you'll end up standing. And people who are going for pay line promotions, it's so important that you hang on to the customers you got in 4 months ago. So then the 5th month, instead of this month dropping off and you put 20 customers on and you stand still, if you look after these ones that you got 4 months ago, these ones will go on top of that, and you'll have 100 customers instead of 80. Because so many times people say to me, I don't understand, like, I'm bringing in all these customers but my pay line's not moving. Well, because these dropped off. If you're doing 20 customers and they're all one-time shipments, when you get to wherever 4 months from now is September or something, you're going to have 20 new customers, but you've got lost all these. And it's so important now, if you don't remember a diddly squat thing that I tell you about from this call, apart from this, is maintaining and keeping the customers you've got is as important, if not more so, than building a customer base in this current month that you're in. It's absolutely crucial. If you want to get to NMD, imagine how much quicker and more stable your business is going to be when you get there, if you look after all the customers that you get every single month, because you're building on top of them all the time. If you don't, these will drop off. It doesn't matter how many more you bring in, because the other ones are dropping off all the time. And you will know, and some of you might have been there, where you just stand still for ages thinking nothing's going. That's why, because you're not looking after the ones that you got 4 months ago. So please make sure, if you don't do anything else, that you don't just focus on the new, make sure you're focused on the current and the previous as well.
It's so true, so true. Like the bathtub, you always have to have a plug in the bath or there's never going to be any water. I never forget when Gordon Hester talked to us about that. If you've got no plug in your bath, you never run a bath, and those customers going out down the plug hole, that's 4 months. So it doesn't matter how much the tap fills up if the plug's not in. Okay, so let's talk about should we talk about smashing the rest of June?
Yes, why not? I just, it's like, I'm already thinking about July. Like, I can't believe we're halfway through June. There's 2 weeks left. I'm looking at like where, and I always have this kind of halfway point. I'm sure you guys all do the same, where you look at your business and you think, right, I'm aware I said I would be, because we all start the month and we're like, right, I'm going to smash it. And then, you know, real life takes over and things happen, but it only takes over if you let it. And I always have a sort of a mid-month review in my head. In fact, I do it every day. Every night I go to bed and I think, did I do everything I could have done today? If you're not doing this, by the way, you're definitely not on it as much as you think you might be. If you're going to bed and the last thing you think about isn't, you know, like, did I do everything I could do today? Then it's okay, but it just means that it's not top priority for you right now, right? So for me at the moment, like, obviously, you know, doesn't mean I'm not looking after my kids, I am, but my business is just like, it's just that little sense check at night. It's like, did I brush my teeth? Yes. Did I do everything I could do in my business today? And if the answer isn't yes, who have I got to, like, who's going to fix that? Nobody except me, right? So I can either do the same again the next day and the same again the next day, and we get to the 15th of June and we're like, shit, I haven't done all the things I said I would do. Or you just know, I'm a 1 day at a time kind of person, right? Like 1 hour at a time sometimes. And if you're ever going through a bad experience in your life or a struggle in your life, just manage 1 hour at a time, right? Just think, I'm just smiling at the window. I'm just going to go through this hour. That's what I always do with everything. Or if I'm trying to achieve a big target, like I just think, right, we've just got to get that extra £1,000 peel, and I've just got to get that one more PB, like chunk everything down. But when you're looking at June now and what we've got left, I'm looking at it and thinking, oh my god, half of me is going, we're halfway through the month already, and the other half of me is going, my god, we've still got 2 weeks left. Like, 2 weeks, you can change your whole business overnight. I love that about our business, right? Even if you've not been on it this month, or you've spent all your time whinging and whining about deliveries instead of just getting on with putting your orders on and letting the company deal with all of that. And I know that is some people, right? It doesn't achieve anything. You can't change that situation, right? So our job is to just carry on growing, carry on building momentum. If you're constantly trying to drive somewhere, trying to get somewhere and worried about what happened in the traffic, you know, back there, or those lights that weren't red when you weren't green when you get there, or whatever's going on back here, it's irrelevant. Your focus is totally on what's happening now. What can I do going forward? And I'm like, we've got 2 massive weeks left in a 24-hour global business, right? If you don't need to sleep's a pain in the bum. It gets in the way, right? But you have to do it. Functionally, we need to sleep, right? And you need to have a life. But when you're really in a zone of wanting to do something, that's something that takes up time. And I think I could be building in Australia, not sleeping, but my focus is on doing all of things, making sure I'm looking after my body, making sure I'm looking after my family, but making sure my business is absolutely going to boom in these next 2 months. And whose responsibility is that for each of us individually? It's ours. It's not your team. It's not your family. It's not your uplines. It's each of us individually. It's our responsibility to make our business the best it can be for the next 2 weeks and onwards. Not just for the next 2 weeks, but because what that does is it springboards you into the following month. Because I'm telling you now, this business is going to grow and grow and grow over the next few months, and I honestly believe on into 2021 and beyond. But who is responsible for that, making sure that happens? We are, right? The company are doing what they can do. They're doing everything in the background. Our responsibility is our customer base, making sure they buy, making sure they get a great experience, and making sure that they repeat order. Our team, if we have team that we haven't signed up yet, making sure that they join, making sure they know how to get started, making sure they know how to build a customer base. That's it. And we just focus on that every day, 1 day at a time. What did you do today? This, and this. What are you doing tomorrow? This, and that. Go to bed. Did I do everything I said I could do? Yeah. Did I have fun? Was doing it? Yeah. I mean, we always used to say, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. So if what you're doing, wherever you're at in it and you're not having fun with it, make it bloody fun. Create something that's fun. Create a Zoom call with somebody you actually like in your team or in your whatever. Work together. You know, just stick a post in Financial Freedom or somewhere like that and say, I'm going to work on my Zoom call now for an hour. Does anybody want to jump on with me? I don't know, whatever. Like if you're not having fun with it, it comes across in every, right? You know yourself when you get out of bed the wrong side and you stub your toe and then you spill your coffee and kids are driving you mad. And I hear people all the time going, oh, I've had such a tough day. I'm like, a tough day? It's 10 o'clock. You're gonna write off the whole day because you've had a shit morning. Like, it's 1 hour. You can decide, am I going to have a tough day or have I had a tough couple of minutes, really, if we're honest. So it's totally up to us. I am mega excited about what's happening in the business, in my personal business, in my own customer building, in my own team building, and then in the wider team as well. Kelly Brightwell said to this call that I absolutely loved, and she said she talked through her DMO, you know, like about what she did through the day and stuff. But one of the things she said was, I work on this between these hours, and then I work on my own business, but when she's in bed. And I thought that's so important, right? Especially for those of you who've got a team. Even if you've only got 1 or 2 teams, sometimes we put all our energy into those people for all the right reasons, right? We want to help them, we want to grow them, and we forget about building our own business, building your customer base, hitting your PB, getting new promotions, all of that stuff. But having that time, and it's one of the things that she said that I implemented into my own business from that moment. I was like, at what point in the day am I building my own business, right? Which is basically building your customer base, looking after your customer base, and bringing in, you know, whatever new team members you are. And that's really, really important, especially as, you know, we're having so many, look how many promotions we're getting across the business now. People are like launching themselves into leadership positions, right? And that, I did that too. Emma was telling you, like, I literally went from dealer to PMD in 7 months. So I went from building a customer to having a big team. I was like, Jesus, I don't really know what, like, there's loads of, I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, what am I supposed to do with all this? And it can be quite scary to just suddenly you're an SSC when 5 minutes ago you were, you know, a senior partner. So the thing to remember is just to take a breath and remember that you still, your focus is building your own business, looking after your own business, hitting your PB, bringing in your customer base, because that's what's going to give you security in your business, security in your check, is bringing in your customers and making sure you look after them. But for me, like, I look at that and I think that's what we're in control of. Like someone said it before in one of the chats, focusing on what you can control. You can control your customer base. You can control how many new team members you bring in. You control how, whether you help them get off to a fast start or not. After that, to a certain extent, you can't really control it, because people will do what people do. Some people will do a little bit, some people will do a lot, some people will do nothing, some people will stop and start. That's kind of up to them, as long as there's a framework for them to work within. But your responsibility for the next tune is to give it everything you've got. I said it right at the start. If you sit here on the 15th or 16th of June today and go, okay, what if I gave this everything I possibly could, honestly, right? I mean, I'm not going to come and check on you. I'm not going to ring your doorbell. Did you give it everything you've got? You've got to do that, right? You've got to be motivated by opportunity. You've got to be motivated by how it's going to feel when you wake up on the 1st of July and you look at your pay line or you look at your promotion or whatever it is that you're going for, and you think, I bloody did that. I created that. I helped those people get promoted. I helped those customers. I created that. I gave that everything I could give it. Because I'll tell you the truth, it doesn't happen overnight all the time, but it is starting to happen overnight for people now at the moment. If you just joined the business today, you can get to senior partner by the end of the month and get paid 500 quid on the 10th of July, if you want. If you want, I do a call every single morning, right? And I teach people how to get 500 quid in the first month. And every time I do it, I think, if I was joining this business now, I would just do that by the end of tomorrow. Get it done. Like, how many customers can you really go and get if you really wanted to? If I told you there was £1 million in your, forget it, not a million, £1,000 in your back garden under a stone, how many stones would you turn over before you just didn't bother looking anymore? No, you'd turn every bloody stone over before you went to bed, wouldn't you? Because you know there's £1,000 out there. There's a downside more than £1,000 in this business for you if you give it everything you've got, right? You can earn more than that this month if you give it everything you've got. It's literally Willy Wonka's chocolate factory of a business. So what we do or don't do, what we earn or don't earn, what we achieve or don't achieve, always sits and rests with us at the end of the day, right? You've got to help yourself and you've got to help other people, but it absolutely starts and ends with what you do or don't do. So for me, June is the start of the catapult for the rest of the summer, right? The shops are opening. Great. How many of you probably don't fit into the clothes that you were wearing at the start of lockdown? hello, right? So people are going to be shopping and going, oh my God, like, I don't fit into those jeans. I'm not buying the next size up. Where's that girl who was on my social media banging on about that bloody Juice Plus stuff? Where is she? I need her, right? That's where your consistency pays off. That's where, you know, starting your night. I'm 10 weeks into my 90-day game plan, right? I've got these 2 weeks left. If I look at my graph, it's gone like that for a number of different reasons, but because the consistency of showing up every single day will show up, right? I promise you, and Emma will tell you the same, I promise you, if you consistently show up in this business every single day, honestly, and again, no one's going to check and no one's going to know apart from you, you will achieve growth and you will get paid a good check during the rest of this year, right? You will build a business that will pay you every single month if you show up consistently. If you don't, if you show up on Monday, show up on Thursday, rock up a bit on Sunday, you'll create a bit of an income, but you'll never get the momentum. Now is the time. Honestly, never, ever, ever have I seen a time like now that is just going to grow and grow and grow and grow. And the only thing that will stop this growing is if we stop working, right? And I tell you now, I ain't stopping working for anybody. Absolutely not. My kids have been off for 15 weeks and they're going to be off for at least another 15. Who knew? We always thought we couldn't work when the kids are off. Guess what we've all just done? Built massive kick-ass businesses while all the kids have been on holiday, so we'll never have that excuse again either. So I'm mega excited.
Holidays used to be the quietest time for it. I'd be like, the kids are off, there's no chance, I can't, you know, even I used to say, and I'm like, okay.
We're sure we were all lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
It's so true. I just was like, when you said that, I was like, it's so, honestly, the summer we used to be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. And yeah, we literally, do you know what I think as well, with the pandemic, as an awful situation that is, it's taught me so many lessons. Like, it's taught me, and I think it's taught my team and my customers so many lessons. Health is all of a sudden our priority. Our income can change like that. People's plan A's aren't plan A anymore, and this plan B suddenly looks a little bit more exciting to lots of people. So we don't have anything really against us. Everything is for us right now. And yeah, I just feel your energy is so infectious.
That's why I hang out on WhatsApp with you all the time, you see.
17-minute voice notes. Okay, so let's talk about, and I know we're conscious of time, what should we talk about to finish the call? How do you want to end it?
Oh my God, I don't talk about happy chat all night, you know me, I don't mind. Honestly, I don't know, I think that people are always looking for a secret, I guess, right? And I say it all the time, people joining this training group and that training group and hanging out on Zoom, and I've been on, it's honestly, you're wasting your time. You don't get paid for going on training courses. You don't get paid for hanging out in network marketing groups. You don't get paid for any of that. It's fine, a little bit of it, right? But honestly, I always say that you have got everything you need in your life, right, to build a successful business right here. Within this team that you're in, being part of Team Rhino, being part of the Juice Plus company, every single thing that you need to be successful, you've already got, right? You've got social media, you've got an amazing established company, you've got a next to nothing joining fee, you've got a very affordable product, you've got a product that bloody works, no matter what. When people say to me, oh, it's not working for me, I'm like, you're not taking it properly then? Because how can it not work for you, right? Of course it works. I get absolutely that much product belief that I know that it works. So when someone might, it's always because they're not doing it right, or they've not stuck to the plan or whatever. So everything you need, every single box is ticked, every single box. And again, all the excuses that people have about this and that's going on, okay, I get it, right? We all have stuff going on, and that's not going to change either, right? I can literally look everybody in the eye and say, at some point in your life, you're going to have a struggle. At some point in your life, you're going to have stuff that goes on. And at some point in your life, you're going to have, you know, grief and tragedy and death and marriage and all of that. That's what life is. But how much easier is it to handle those things when you've got a bloody good income coming in every single month that you don't have to worry about, where you don't have a boss and you don't have anybody like to tell you where to be? How much easier will it be to handle another lockdown when it comes along, if it does, or losing your job if it came along, or I don't know, whatever tragedy might come out of difficult time might come, how much easier is that to handle if you've spent this time now building something that's going to pay you forever, that's going to pay you not just in a financial way, but in who you become, in what you're about, in the kind of person that you are, the way that you show up in the world. There isn't another business on the planet that will teach you what this business will teach you, what the people in this business will teach you. Like, I've never been anywhere where I'm surrounded every single day by really positive people who want you to do well, who want you to build something great for yourselves. And I guess it's there isn't a secret. That's the top and bottom of it, right? There is not a secret. The only secret to it is doing over and above what you think you're capable of. And I think I put it in one of the charts earlier, like, I don't think people have even the tiniest realization of what they're capable of, most people, right? The tiniest realization. If you just, we've only got, right, I'm going to be really honest, we've got this one life. This is it, the one you're in right now, wherever it is and whatever's going on. This is your one life to make the most of it. And aren't you bloody lucky that you found this, right? So now you are bloody lucky that you found it and you've got it. You've got the perfect way to stay healthy. You've got the perfect way to create a healthy lifestyle for yourself, to give yourself the best chance of living a long, healthy life. And you've got the perfect chance to create an income for yourself that you're proud of, that you made, that gives you choices, that gives you a life, that gives you the chance to be able to go anywhere, do anything, see anybody, like, live your life your way. And like, it kind of takes me full circle to what I said at the beginning. I don't ever want to look back and think, I wonder if I'd just given that a proper go. I wonder if I'd just done what Emma said and got a customer every day. Like, imagine if you've been in the business 3 or 4 years, imagine if you've got a customer every day in all that time, where your business would be right now. You literally, it's hard to get your head around where your business would be, but there's nothing, because time's going to pass anyway, right? That's another fact of life. Time's going to pass anyway. Before we know it, look how this is like Groundhog Day in a way that we're in a minute, but it's either great Groundhog Day or shit Groundhog Day, and that choice is up to you as well, right? I look at my social media and you'll be the same. Some people are really positive, right, all the time. Other people, all they do is moan about what everybody else is doing or not doing, queuing or not queuing, social distancing or not. Who gives a shit? It's nothing to do with us what other people are doing. You are here right now to create your best life, to show up in your best way, to be proud of what you're building, whether that's 2 customers a month or 20 customers a month or 200, whatever you want to do. But you've got to choose every day how you're going to show up. And if you show up in a negative way, you're going to struggle to build a positive business. If you show up positively every day, consistently, doing the 3 simple things, sharing what we're doing, helping people to get healthy, helping people to earn an income, connecting with people every day, following up with people. It's not difficult. If that's all you've got to do to create an income that you're proud of, honestly, do not know why you wouldn't give this everything you've got right now and just see. Just 6 little months, it's going to be Christmas. Imagine what you could do if you could get to Christmas and just go, I've just completely changed my whole life for the better in the last 6 months. So I just would encourage everybody, honestly, hand on heart, I would absolutely encourage you to give this everything you've got, not for 6 months, just tomorrow. Just do it tomorrow, one day at a time. Just tomorrow, give this for one day, everything you possibly can. And then the next day, make a decision. Are you going to do it again the same day? The next day, give it everything. Before you know it, it'll be the 30th of June, and just let's see what you're capable of, because I promise you it's more than you think.
Well, I've got goosebumps. I feel emotional. But it's so true when someone puts it out on a plate for you like that and says, when you look back on, and you know what, speaking from experience, when I look back to 8 years ago and Katie said to me, when you join this business, you can do this and you can do that, and I gave everything, I put every moment that I could into this business, and no one could ever say to me, you know, even New Year's Eve in Disneyland, reconfirming my last month of PMD with Carly Peace, we were in Disneyland and we were still trying to process orders, a little bit drunk, trying to make sure that I hit that promotion. And I just think, when I look back now, I'm so grateful, because it has transformed my life and into a different world. And like you said, Em, it's not about anything else other than I get to show up every single day and be present for my girls, and I get to pick them up from school and drop them off to school, and they don't even think. Sometimes Ari says, "Mummy, why don't you go to work?" And I think, "Oh right, Ari, you just think I'm on my phone because she's 3." But honestly, we are so lucky. And you know, when I hear people say that they don't get to do these things, I just think we have this little gift inside our hand that we can share with people, that especially mums, and my passion is mums, but to be able to say you don't have to live the lifestyle that Emma was living. And you know, I never had to send Sienna to childcare. I never had to come off my maternity leave. I'm still on that maternity leave from 8 years ago. I've been able to be a mum to my girls, and I just think you really made me realise that even more tonight. So yeah, they say don't look at a gift horse in the mouth. I don't even know what that means, but don't underestimate the power that you have from joining this business and spending this £50, and use everything that you've got right now. I just want to like emphasize everything you said. Can I just ask you one more question, Emma? Although I'd like to end it because I feel really upbeat from that, but actually something that I know you're really amazing at is objections. I just wonder if we could spend like 2 minutes on objections. Would you be all right with that?
Well, like objection, yeah, of course, I don't mind. I don't see them as anything as an objection. It's always an opportunity, right? Always, everything is an opportunity. I think as long as you look at anything that way and look at something as an opportunity, it's a little bit, right, it sounds weird, but it's a little bit about keeping those goals really close about you, because then you don't look at things as objections as such, and you don't have, it's about having a positive mindset. Someone turns up in a negative way into your life, or even an objection is not always a negative, it's just can you clarify something for me? Our job is to help people understand the value in what we're offering, right? That's our job. If they don't see the value because they think it's expensive, it's because we haven't explained it properly. So an objection is just another opportunity for you to explain it better to somebody. Excuse me. So I have a really simple way that I deal with most objections, which is feel, felt, found. And most, you'll have probably heard of it before, a lot of people, which is I understand how you feel. A lot of people, right, when they object to something, or they ask you a question, or they say, oh, I can't afford it, or it's too expensive, or I can't do it, or I've got no confidence, or I don't know anybody, or whatever it is, right? It's literally just, all they want to do is be heard. I understand how you feel, right? I felt the same way too, or I know people who felt like that, or I understand that. However, what I realized was this. So for example, somebody might say, you know, the premium capsules are too expensive, I can't afford £60 a month. Okay, totally understand how you feel. Now, again, remember what I said right at the start of this about asking people what their goals are. What are your body goals or struggles? They'll tell you their goals or struggles, right? And when they then come back with an objection or a further query, you've then got something to go back to. Remember how you said you wanted to have loads of energy. Remember how you said you wanted to lose weight, right? Okay, well, I understand like how you feel, but you know what I realized was, actually it's less than £2 a day, and I was spending more than that on a cup of coffee on the way to work every day. So I just cut that out and started taking these instead, and it was well worth it, or whatever. But feel, felt, found is all you need to remember. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way too at first, but then I realized, or then I found. That works for everything, weirdly enough. And you probably know yourself, Emma, like there's not that many objections. They're just kind of worded a little bit differently, but you get used to it after a little while. You just, if you really take the time at the start of the conversation to find out what that person wants, then you just wrap the product or wrap the business around them. And I honestly, because I do that, I don't get very many objections anymore, because I've taken the time at the beginning to help them to really understand what it is that they want. And when somebody genuinely wants to change, whether it's their financial situation or their physical appearance, or when somebody genuinely wants your help and they're ready for it, the money's irrelevant, right? They don't have any objections because they really want it, right? You know yourself, if you really want something, you'll find the money. If you really want something, you'll find a way, always. So look at it, instead of looking at something as or a difficulty or a negative, always look at it as like, what's the opportunity in this? I have a real saying, right? What's the gift in it? So anytime somebody comes to me with like, oh, this is going on in my life, or I always say, okay, so what's the gift in it? What's the thing that we can learn from it? And sometimes you've got to really search for that. It's like, oh, I don't know. But there always is something. There's always something. So a negative or a query or an objection or anything in your business is always an opportunity. So it's an opportunity even for like, even now, right? Well, look, we've got some people I'm not even calling them delays. They're not delays. The order time, the lead time's just been 2 to 3 weeks for a little while. It's not, if you call it a delay, you instantly put people in a negative frame of mind. All I say to people is, if the lead time of 2 to 3 weeks, they're like, cool, literally cool. It's all in the language and all in the wording. It's absolutely fine. So what it's done is given me a great opportunity to go and contact all my customers. fantastic opportunity, great reason to pick up the phone, great reason to drop them a WhatsApp or whatever. So nothing is an objection really, it's just an opportunity to give somebody a bit more information. That's the way that I see it anyway.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. It's so true. Lead time is absolutely perfect. And I said to my girls today, you know what, a few years ago we sold out of products, and we had to ship stuff from America, and we still smashed records around the world with that. You know, we've got products, it's just the lead time's a bit longer. So yeah, you're so right, Em, you're so right.
It's still not very long. Like, I've waited way longer than 2 or 3 weeks for stuff, and at the minute as well, like, everybody expects it anyway. I literally heard that and I was like, okay, cool. And then I saw these people going, like, asking questions about it. I was like, it's 2 or 3 weeks, not 2 or 3 years. Everybody wants what they can't have anyway, so it's cool. I'm like, it's brilliant. It's what a fantastic, if that's the quality of our problems, I'm all on board with that, right? What a great problem to have. Everybody wants our stuff. When you get to the point in your life where nobody wants your stuff, that's a bloody problem. This is not a problem. This is a massive opportunity for us to shout about how fantastic our products are. We sold something like 16 weeks worth of product in a fortnight. You don't do that with something that nobody wants. You do that with something that everybody wants. So it's absolutely brilliant. It's a brilliant problem to have. It's not going to last very long. We'll get to the start of July. We're back in full supply, and we've just had a fantastic story that we could share. And I'm telling you now, you'll tell that story like we've been telling the one about 2013. You'll go back in 2020, we ran out of product. It was amazing. Look at the size of my growth in that period of time, right? It's totally normal. It's how we think about it, how we talk about it, how we express it, how we show up. I've just been like, cool, carry on, right? Carry on, get the orders, bring the orders in, because I want this momentum to go into July, August, September, October, and beyond. And do you know why? Because I shared this a little bit on the pajama call on Friday night. It was my daughter's birthday this week, and my time hop came up, you know, the memories thing on your social media, and it was like her 5th birthday, and it said the post I put on there before I joined the business, and I was going to work, and it said, I can't believe I've got to go to work for 2 days and miss my daughter's birthday. So I was going into like a customer function for 2 days, and it's a picture of me sat on the end of my bed. It's dark in June, so I must be leaving at like 4 in the morning. And she's there, and she's this big, right? She's just got big curly hair because she'd had it in plaits overnight. And this is me saying goodbye to my daughter the day before her birthday, because I wasn't going to be there for her 5th birthday. And at the bottom I've written, next year I'm going to make sure I take holiday because I don't want to do this again. And honestly, when I saw it, I was like, Jesus Christ, that is awful. Like, how horrific is that, to just not be there for your daughter's 5th birthday because you've got to go to work for 2 days? And I will never let that happen again. Never. So me taking my foot off the gas, me worrying about what other people think, me not turning up and not showing up every day. Now, that's the picture I have in my head. Is like, if I hadn't done something like that, if I hadn't grabbed this business by the bollocks when I found it, that would have been her experience probably every year since. Now, I don't miss a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday, and I'm damn sure I don't miss a birthday. So that's what this business is. That's what happens when you show up every day, and you've got to feel that. Like, I can still feel it now, and it's 8 years ago. Like, I will never be that mum again that wasn't there for the things that mattered, because you don't have to be. This is the business. This is the place where you can create in 12 months' time. You have to work. You might have to miss a few things between then and now, but create something where you can be there for the rest of your life, even if you've got to make sacrifice for these 12 months, because it's bloody worth it. It really, really is.
An amazing story, an amazing journey, an amazing businesswoman you are. Thank you so much for sharing all your tips. You made me feel really emotional and like just your honesty and everything, and how lucky is Molly to have such an amazing mother, pillar of strength through everything. Thank you.
She's pretty amazing herself. I even put lipstick on for you girls. Are you impressed? I haven't worn lipstick for 17 weeks. I went upstairs and Molly went, Mum, you've got lippy on. What's going on? So I'm doing a call. I'm going to put lipstick on. So I feel like I might do it more often. You probably did. Lynn bought it for me, I think.
I'm still in my gym stuff from this morning, so I'm afraid my eyes are watering. Okay, anyway, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you so much, everyone.